Hello, we're ranking more RPG music today, and we're doing normal battle themes. So my top 20 normal battle themes across all JRPGs ever made. Now, top 20 is a bit much, I know, but guys, you have no idea how hard it was pitting all of these against each other and dwindling them down to only the best 20. There are so many good ones out there, and they all have such drastically different vibes that they're really hard to compare. You'll see what I mean in a second. Also, please consider subscribing if you happen to enjoy watching. We're like inches away from 1,000 subscribers by now, so let's try to get there by the end of the year. We can do it, guys. I believe in us. Before getting started, let's set some ground rules. I'm not going to be counting action RPGs like the E series, for example, where the overworld theme are essentially also the battle themes. And I'm not counting strategy RPGs unless there's like a distinct theme for free battles, or if it's a special case like Devil Survivor, say. So there basically has to be an encounter for it to qualify. Yeah, you have to be walking around, minding your own business, and then you get hit with a psh or a psh, and then the theme plays. You know what I'm talking about. Some of the tracks on here today were even good enough to make it into my top 10 favorite battle themes of all time video, and that list included both boss battle themes and final boss battle themes as well. But like last time, I'm only allowing one song entry per game, and speaking of which, some games have multiple normal battle themes. So as long as it doesn't go too overboard, like say the Kingdom Hearts series where every single level has its own theme, I think it's fine to include those as well. As long as we can enjoy the track for a relatively large portion of the game, it qualifies. A normal battle theme not only has to be good or catchy, it also has to withstand the test of time and still be enjoyable to listen to for the entire length of the game. So for JRPGs, that's around 50 to 60 hours of game time. If the song was good, but I get bored having to constantly listen to it midway through the game, then it probably wasn't good enough. Also, just so you know how much thought I've put into this, you know what I did to make sure I was purely judging my love for the music and not my love of the game it's from? I played all of these songs over Persona 3 gameplay, my favorite game of all time. That way, I can be as objective as possible. So basically what I'm saying is that I don't discriminate. I don't care if the game's a masterpiece or a literal pile of trash. All I care about is the music. Okay, I think that's enough exposition. Starting now. Okay, so first up, I've got Shadow Heart's Covenant's battle theme called Deep in Coma, so the one that plays during the game's second half. This song is so epic, they even made it play in the background as you're going through the game's final dungeon. The Shadow Heart series always had such a distinct, eerie, demonic vibe with its soundtrack. Nothing else sounds quite like it. Shadow Hearts 1's battle theme was a bit too weird for my liking, and From the New Worlds was pretty good too, sure. But Covenant struck just the right balance of weird, creepy, and catchy, especially with this track. Now, I'm not a musician, by the way, this piano next to me, it's just for show, so don't expect an in-depth analysis on why I think any of these songs are good. So I'm gonna shut up every now and then and just let you enjoy the music. You're welcome. Next is Final Fantasy V's battle theme, just called The Battle. A complete 180 tonal shift from the last track. You see now what I mean by completely different vibes. Now, I've never actually fully committed to playing Final Fantasy V. I've only picked the game up like 2 or 3 times as a child. So I barely know anything about it, but this battle theme is one of the few things that stuck with me. Now, this one is like only 30 seconds long. It loops very quickly, I know. Most old battle themes are like that, but I see it as being more short and sweet and to the point. And it's a perfect example of what a classic normal battle theme ought to be. At number 18 is the song Abandoned from Trinity Universe. This game's got a ton of normal battle themes, by the way, but this is the only one that really stood out to me. I would not recommend this game to anyone, by the way. It's not that good, but I'm a fair guy, and I know when to admit when a game's soundtrack is peak. I really enjoy hard rock music, by the way, if you didn't know. So expect to hear a lot of that today. You gotta listen to this one part of the song though. This part is why it's even on this list to begin with. Next up is Blinded by Light from Final Fantasy XIII. And I'm as pissed about this as you are. Why? Why do all the shitty games have the best banger battle themes? I don't get this. This isn't fair. I, of course, have not played Final Fantasy XIII extensively. I picked the game up multiple times. I gave it many chances, but I could not get into it, especially from a gameplay perspective. But it's not all bad. I mean, they gave us this awesome battle theme in exchange, and it's the only thing I will ever remember this game for. It's the violin or whatever that instrument is. Give me any song with a violin, and I will gobble that shit up. Next is Xeno-Factor from XIII Archive, a game that not a lot of people talk about, for good reason. It's kind of mediocre at best. But of course, being developed by TWEWY, they had to bring in the legend Motoi Sakuraba to compose this soundtrack, also known for his works in the Tales of series, the Star Ocean series, and the Dark Souls series. Motoi Sakuraba is in my top, at least 3 favorite video game composers of all time, and I'll just leave you to listen and figure out why for yourself. Next, at number 15, is Mass Destruction from Persona 3. It had to show up eventually. This one's iconic. At this point, it needs no introduction. You might think it's a bit low on the list even, but honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of having lyrics in my battle themes, and I have to admit something. At some point in my life, I used to not like Mass Destruction. I didn't hate it, but I thought of it more as like a meme song, like hee funny rap music in my RPG, not something to genuinely listen to and enjoy. But it's grown on me over time. I love the instrumentation now, especially the trumpets. They really remind me of the Double Summoner soundtrack. I love the Lotus Juice rap, even though, if you ask me, I think he has a much better singing voice, if the song Color Your Night from Reload is any indication. Not much a fan of the Baby Baby part, but it's fine. Oh, and I like how the guitar sounds more in the version that plays in the answer, but I like the lyrics in the original much more. So I'll just say I love both equally. Here you go.
reality, never be charity. The enemy you're fighting covers all society. Damn right, mommy's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment, destroy the nation. You rhyme slow motion, give me motivation. Breathe out now, and then on the rival. Round up around, spit out all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd. Watch out the moon, they diss you loud. Guess what this sound and bombs whole ground. Surround up, don't ease your pace, cause enemies brutal. Moment of truth, there ain't no truth. You're the only one world, one love. But the battle goes on, shadows all mass destruction.
Next is Solid Park from Hyperdimension Neptunia Mark II. Coincidentally, also the only good Neptunia game in my opinion, thank God. Say what you will about these games, you can't deny they've got awesome soundtracks. This track's very cybery, even 8 or 16-bit sounding. I don't know what those terms mean, but hopefully I'm in the right ballpark. They clearly make a valiant effort into creating this very gamey atmosphere, like you've actually stepped foot into a game from the Atari era or something. Makes me wish they'd put more effort into the games themselves these days. Regardless, please enjoy Solid Park. Next up is Glint of Cold Steel from Trails of Cold Steel. If you watched my 5 JRPGs I couldn't stand to finish video, you already know my feelings towards the Cold Steel games, but in short, I think these games are really boring. The soundtrack, however, is far from boring. It's a game developed by Falcom, so of course, the music always has to go way harder than it has any right to, especially for a game as uneventful as Trails of Cold Steel 1. Falcom never misses with the music though, so please enjoy one of their best works. Next is the battle theme from Time and Eternity. There are actually 2 battle themes in this game, one for each protagonist, and they're pretty much almost identical, but I might prefer Toki's version just a tad bit more. Time and Eternity is a game that got a lot of undeserved hate in my opinion. Sure, it's far from the ideal RPG, but I'd say it's about a 6.5 out of 10 experience. The game's story is whatever, and the encounter rate is horrendous, but the gameplay is fun, and the soundtrack is godlike. I also got a soft spot for this game because I played it during the month of Ramadan, and any game you play while fasting makes you just love it even more, just because of the Ramadan atmosphere and that it just takes your mind off your stomach. Not the holiest thing to play during the month of Ramadan, of course, what with all the panty shots and the like. But seriously though, if you're a big soundtrack enthusiast or whatever, you have to check out Time and Eternity's entire OST. It's up there with some of the best, but for now, please enjoy Toki's battle theme. Next up is When the Heart Ignites from Wild Arms 5. a game I haven't actually played yet, but I've heard this theme a lot watching my older sister play it back in the day. It really stood out to me, and not every day you hear old western cowboy style music in an RPG. If this game ever gets a port or a remaster or something, I'm playing it just so I can listen to this song in-game. And who knows, if the battle theme is this good, the rest of the soundtrack must be legendary. So please enjoy and whistle along if you feel like it. Entering the top 10 now, and first up I got Battle Ediface from Shin Megami Tensei 5. I hesitated putting this one on the list initially because it only plays in dungeons, and this game has a whopping total of 2 dungeons in the entire game. So how often you hear this depends on how long a time you spent in these dungeons. But really, I just wanted this to be on the list because I think it's sick as hell. Way better than this game's standard battle theme for sure. It's also my favorite battle theme in the entirety of SMT5, which I realized after I ranked literally every single song from that game, which you should totally check out, by the way, card on screen. But open a separate tab or something, because right now I want you to listen to the hypest song ever. And at number 9, I've got Battle Town from Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Yes, expect a lot of SMT on this list. This one just feels classy as all hell. I can just picture White Putin walking towards me with all of his sheer aura. It's the piano that really gives it that chill feeling. Not without blindsiding us by the end with the heaviest metal you'll ever metal. And yes, I do prefer this one over the more popular standard battle theme. That one's fantastic too, but if I had to pick, I'll probably go with this one. What's cool about both of these songs though is that they actually have different guitar riffs and solos depending on what phase of the moon you're currently on when the battle begins. So that's just such a cool extra little detail that I can't help but give it bonus points because of it. Don't have time to play all of them, so I hope you enjoy whatever version of the song I end up sharing. And at number 8, I've got Breaking Free from Neo, The World Ends With You. Now, I know I said I tend not to prefer having lyrics in my battle themes, but this one just works so well. I don't know. It hypes me up every time, and anytime I enter a battle, I pray to God that this is the song that plays, because this game's one with multiple battle themes, and which songs plays in which chapters seem kind of random, honestly. But yeah, this is the only battle theme that really stuck with me. It's also probably my second favorite song from the game, right behind Transformation, of course. So please enjoy.
Oh
At number 7 is of course another SMT game, and it's Battle Raidou from Devil Summoner Raidou Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army. That's a mouthful of a title, I know. I initially had this one way higher, in second place even. It even made my top 10 favorite battle themes video I mentioned prior, but since then I've changed my mind on some tracks, and I've even remembered some other tracks that slipped my mind when I made that one video. Nevertheless, this song is just incredible. I never get tired to listening to this one. I'm still waiting on that remaster, Atlas, by the way. Come on, I want more people to experience this song in-game, but for right now, enjoy this preview. At number 6, I've got the second battle theme from Digimon World Data Squad, and I'm telling you right now, this game fucking sucks. Don't play it unless you're a hardcore Digimon fan like me. But absolutely look up this game's entire soundtrack, because it was composed by none other than Hitoshi Sakamoto, who has worked on a number of Final Fantasy games and all the Vanillaware games, including Odin Sphere and 13 Sentinels. But of course, I think this mediocre niche PS2 game soundtrack got the honor of being his best work by far. So please enjoy Battle Theme 2. Yes, apparently that's the song's actual name. Now entering my top 5, and at 5th place I've got yet another SMT track, last one I promise, and this time it's Hunting from Digital Devil Saga. Now I do prefer the Devil Summoner's Battle Raidou more than this one, but again I'm also judging how well the tracks work as normal encounter themes, and this one just takes the whole cake. It's also the chillest battle theme that you're ever going to hear in your life, and like Nocturne's theme that I shared, this one's got like 5 different versions of the guitar solo, probably based on the moon phases again. I'm also expecting a remaster for both of the DDS games too, Atlas. Yes, I'm gonna keep talking about PS2 SMT game remasters until they fucking happen, because these games deserve to be played by everyone, and the song needs to be listened to by everyone. At number 4, I've got the battle theme from Xenosaga Episode 1. This is another game I've yet to experience for myself, but like Wild Arms 5, I've seen my older sister play it a number of times, and apparently, according to her, this track is literally the only battle theme in the entirety of the game, save for the final boss theme. And goddamn, that's how you know a song is good. They only had the budget for that one song, and they had to make sure it was an absolute banger in every way possible, no matter the context. Man, PS2 era games, they had the best music. You can really just tell from these battle themes. So if you've just recently gotten into video games, enjoy this snippet from the glory days. Enjoy. And in third place, I've got Stab the Sword of Justice Heroic Remix from Star Ocean 4 or Star Ocean The Last Hope. That's right, a remix, because this is actually the Star Ocean 2 battle theme. But I just like this version so much more, and even if I did disqualify remixes, Star Ocean 4's default battle theme, Blood on Keys, would have also still occupied this exact same spot regardless. Stab the Sword of Justice, man, it just brings a tear to my eye every time I hear it. It's beautiful. That's not a compliment I can give many battle themes. Please play the Star Ocean games, guys. Give this series a chance. They've got amazing characters, amazing gameplay, amazing music. Stay away from Star Oceans 5 and 6 though. Those two aren't the best. Fingers crossed we get this kind of quality music again in the next Star Ocean game, assuming they haven't given up on the series. Right now, I'm doing my part in keeping the series alive by sharing this wonderful music. So you're welcome, Square Enix, and enjoy. In second place is Choose the Way from Agarest Generations of War. I played this game years ago and I never finished it because the gameplay just gets so repetitive, it gets boring really quickly, and this is a long game. You play through 5 whole generations of characters and protagonists, so you play as one group of characters, then the main character has a child with a party member of your choosing, and then they pass the torch to their child, and so on and so forth. And the game is so long that I just barely got to experience the second generation of characters. So over the years, I slowly forgot that this game ever existed, and more importantly, I forgot how good this game's soundtrack was up until I came across some gameplay footage a few days back. I want you to just listen to this. If this song doesn't just hype you up to kick some ass, I don't know what will. Before revealing my number one pick, honorable mentions to the tracks I put in 30th to 21st place on screen right now. I would have loved to share these as well, but something tells me this video is long enough already. So let's not make it any longer and just move on to first place. And my number one favorite normal battle theme of all time is of course Cutting Edge of Notion from Star Ocean Till the End of Time, also known as Star Ocean 3. To me, this track is the very epitome of what a normal battle theme should be. A song that sounds consistently fun, a song that hypes you up all throughout the game, a song with multiple layers to it. There isn't even a single section in the song that feels mediocre or bland. No, it just keeps going and every part's even better than the last. Nothing comes close to beating this one for me. Also, the snippet I'm about to share won't do it justice, so please look up this song for yourself. But for now, please enjoy this preview and let's all thank our Lord and Savior Motoi Sakuraba for creating this masterpiece. Thank you. And those are my top 20 battle themes of all time. Thank God for video game music, man. Who knows? I might have had a different hobby altogether at this point in my life if way back then, little 5-year-old me wasn't entranced by all the JRPG music I was constantly surrounded by. But you thought I was done, weren't you? Nah, hold on. Don't go anywhere yet. I've just ranked 20 of the best normal battle themes across all JRPGs ever made. But now I ask, what's the worst battle theme of all time? And to me, the answer was obvious right as the question entered my mind. I hate to say it because I love this game. I think it's one of the best JRPGs out there. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say that Digital Wars from Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is the worst battle theme ever made. Like, I'm sorry, but to me, this isn't even a song. I describe it as noise more than anything. This game's got some great music, but the battle theme is just no. What were you thinking with this? I wish I could just take Data Squad soundtrack and Cyber Sleuths and just replace them. Because right now, I either have to choose between a great game with a mediocre soundtrack or a shitty game with a godlike soundtrack. So anyway, just don't enjoy this one, but listen to it at least. But anyway, I'm done for real this time. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you happen to enjoy watching and want more gaming content just like this. And until next time, guys, take care.